All right, we've just gotten in the tape from President Trump making a threat against North Korea's threat. Here it is.
Best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen. He has been very threatening beyond a normal statement. And as I said, they will be met with fire, fury, and frankly power, the likes of which this world has never seen before. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What sparked President Trump's comments here was the revelation by the Washington Post that apparently the Defense Intelligence Department has gotten a report that the North Koreans have successfully developed a miniature warhead, a nuclear warhead that's not even a warhead. It goes right into the missile itself. Joining me now, Peter Schiff, Euro-Pacific Capital CEO, and also veteran market strategist and former Trump campaign operative Steve Cortes. Steve, how serious is this, or is it just saber-rattling and lip service on both sides?
Right. Well, no, it certainly isn't just saber-rattling on our side. I think President Trump clearly means what he says. So how serious is it? It's an incredibly serious situation. And I would say, by the way, the last two presidents largely just ignored the whole North Korean issue and hoped it would go away. Thank goodness now we have a real leader who is going to confront them so that we don't have a much worse confrontation down the road.
Peter, what do you make of this? And the market is responding negatively to it.
Well, you know, we're at an all-time high in the Dow, and we've barely surrendered much of those gains as a result of this. I have no idea what to make of it yet. I'm just learning about it for the first time as I'm sitting here, you know, waiting to do the interview. But, you know, maybe it could end up being a good excuse because, you know, Donald Trump has made the mistake of putting the Trump brand on this stock market. And, you know, this was a big, fat, ugly bubble when he was running for office. It's bigger and fatter and uglier now. And so maybe if the market can start falling and they can blame it on some military action, maybe that'll get them off the hook.
We originally brought you both on because you were both Trump voters, you are both Republicans, and yet you now are pretty diametrically opposed on the question of whether President Trump and the economy are doing better than they were from the day they started. Steve, you have a couple of reasons you say absolutely the economy's improved. Quickly, we put up the list of them, and tell me why you really think this, and more so, what's behind it versus just sentiment.
Sure. And sentiment certainly is improving, and we certainly see that in the stock market, but it's not just sentiment. It's real, tangible earnings growth on the ground, and that's primarily what the stock market is discounting. What are future earnings worth? The main reason, I think, that the economy is accelerating is deregulation. This president has already, in just a matter of months, been so successful at cutting regulations. When he came in, he established the rule, President Trump's like a bouncer at an overcrowded nightclub. He said, 2 have to leave for every 1 to get in regarding regulations. Well, we've done quite a bit better than that, or Team Trump has. They've eliminated 16 regulations for every new one during the first 6 months. Regulatory burden has been an albatross upon our freedom and our growth, and that's changing dramatically under President Trump.
Peter, what metrics are you looking at that you now really feel that the economy is nowhere improved at all?
Well, I don't see any evidence that growth is accelerating at all under this president. I mean, I'm glad that he has managed to repeal some regulations. It's unfortunate we couldn't get rid of the mother of all regulations, Obamacare, which he promised to repeal. But unfortunately, the president said he wanted to preserve the ban against pre-existing conditions, which is the very essence of Obamacare, which is why I was confident.
Yeah, but you say that there are lots of jobs, you know, 209,000 in July. What is the problem with that?
Well, because while Obama was president, we were creating 200,000 jobs a month. We had a low unemployment rate under President Obama, and President Trump got elected because he rightly criticized those fake numbers. He was truthful with the public about the real state of the economy. Voters knew that the reason the unemployment rate was low was because so many people had left the workforce. And Donald Trump mentioned, yes, we were creating jobs, but they were low-paying part-time jobs. The same thing is happening now. We're still creating low-paying part-time jobs. We still have a very low labor force participation rate. Nothing has changed, and the president looks like a hypocrite to say that everything was awful under Trump.
That's just,
and now it's
under
Obama.
Let's
it's basically the same now, and all of a sudden it's great.
That's not true that nothing has changed. Now, do we have more work to do? Absolutely. But labor force participation rate is starting to tick up. It's
by
heading in the right direction.
1/10 of 1%, let's be fair.
Wages are starting to tick up. So we're going in the right direction.
They've done nothing.
Yes, hey, let me talk, Peter. Let me talk. Food stamp participation ticking down. The trends are going in the right directions, and corporate earnings aren't ticking up. Corporate earnings are exploding. Once we cut taxes,
no, they're not. And
we're
the
going to
dollar's
see the
now
real
up
economy
10%
explode.
since Trump was inaugurated. What is that telling you?
The dollar?
The dollar's
Yeah,
lost
the dollar
10%
is
of its
markedly
value
weakened.
since Trump was inaugurated.
But he said he'd weaken the dollar. He said it was too high. That can't be a surprise.
But it's not a good thing that it's happening. But it's not because of what he's done. I think the dollar originally rallied because people were confident that there was going to be some significant change under Trump. One of the reasons that the dollar surrendered those gains is because nothing has changed. Look, the problem with Trump taking credit for victories that he hasn't won is it's going to come back to bite him because he's setting people up for a lot of disappointment. A lot of the voters who voted for Trump because they believed what he said are going to be disillusioned when nothing changes. It would be better if Trump was honest about how bad the economy still was so that we could actually have some real results instead of taking credit before it's due.
We have breaking news, but as we run, Steve, very quickly and very briefly, what about that? You know, we do have similar numbers from Obama to President Trump. It's early. It's only 200 days in. Quickly.
The biggest difference are the intangibles of confidence. Consumer confidence is soaring. That matters. It becomes real, a virtuous cycle. The manufacturer survey at all-time highs. People believe in growth again, and that belief can become self-reinforcing.
Yeah, but it's not going to happen.
Once we cut taxes, the economy is going to soar.
We have many hundreds of days to go. So
the deficits are going to soar when we cut taxes.
It's great to have voter versus voter, Trump voter versus voter. Great to see you both, Peter Schiff and Steve Cortes.